This right here is some 1 inch by 8 inch steel flat bar, and this is what I'm going to use to make the mounting plate that's going to bolt to the bottom of the welding fixture, the fireball fixture plate that we're working on. So getting ready to cut a piece off. So again, it's 8 inches. I'm just going to cut me an 8 inch square, and I want the outer dimensions to finish at 7.5. So we'll end up cutting all 4 sides, and then also planing the top and bottom to make it nice and flat. This is the tool that I'm going to use to square in the sides of the plate, reground it, and then just honed it there. Alright, we've got our plate set up in the shaper here. Got the tool set, and we're going to be using the automatic down feed here on the side to trim up the sides right there. I've touched off, and I've got it stepped over at 1/8 of an inch, so we're going to be taking about 120 thousandths, all right? And I've got a 12 thousandths down feed. I think I'm going to try that, and running around 40 strokes a minute. I'm sorry, we're at 34 strokes a minute, and we're going to try a 12 thousandths down feed and see how it does. Sure, it's putting out a curl, but it's doing a good job on that, man. It's got a nice finish on that thing. All right, there's a peek at the finish from that 1/8 cut, and I've got plenty of material to remove, but what I'm going to do is just take a light cut to make a finish, and then we'll flip the piece around and do the other side. All right, so here's our finished cut. I just moved it 10 thousandths over, and we're using an 8 thousandths down feed on that. And I did brush a little cutting oil on it since we're doing our finish there. That's a pretty little curl it's making, isn't it? And the reason why I'm making a finish cut is because it's hard to show on video, but when you're looking at the side of it right here, just because of that more aggressive cut, probably being an 1/8 inch over, you can see a little bit of bounce where that tool hits the edge of the part and comes on down. So I'm just cleaning that up. making a really nice smooth finish on there. All right, we got her flipped around, tapped down, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go with a 16th thou down feed this time, a little bit more aggressive. This cut is 150 thousandths deep. These are the most aggressive cuts I've taken so far, side cutting like this and using the automatic down feed. So this is the first of two finishing passes. I'm gonna, after this cut here, I'm gonna use my micrometer and measure it. We're gonna get it right on 7.5 inches. This is gonna be my final cut here. I don't have to hit an exact size. I'm just doing it for practice here. So it looks like we've got 14 thousandths, and that'll bring us to 7.5. So 514, let me come back here and a little further. 514. Got it cut nice and square. Okay, that was our finished cut, and I will say that my grind and hone was not as good on this side as it was on the first side there. I had to touch up the tool. But that's okay. I'm gonna regrind it again anyway for this other side. So I was shooting for 7.5, and it looks like I overshot it big time by 1/1000. It's the same on the back there. About 1/1000. That's okay. All right, so take it out, I'll file it, and then we're gonna do these two sides right here. Okay, I'm gonna work on these other two sides now to bring them into 7.5. Did a modification on my grind, reduced the radius, and I also choked up on the tool holder a little bit, brought it up so it wasn't sticking down quite as far. And we're gonna do another 1/8 inch cut with 12 thousandths down feed. Still running 34 strokes a minute. Nice and smooth. That is just such a smooth action. I don't know, for me personally, it just seems to be more enjoyable seeing this and hearing it versus running an end mill down the side of it. I just like it. That's why I got the machine, because I wanted to be able to do stuff like this. There's the finish from that last cut, and I didn't make what I would call a finishing cut on it either. I took 2 passes at 125 thousandths of depth of cut with a 12 thousandths down feed, and I got that tool doing really good. So I just decided to leave it there. We're going to file it, and flip it over, and finish that side out. Okay, working on that last side now. Cuts are working really good, so I've been keeping the depth the same at 1/8. I will say my Hackmaster indicator is working really good right here, and this is an idea that I actually have to make for this shaper, is something that will actually hang out here further so that I can easily see it, but have it squared up to the ways there. I've moved on to cleaning the top of the plate off. I'm just taking a light cut there to get it clean and get it flat, get the rust off of it. There's a little bit of a bevel on that side. This side right here. I'm just trying to get that cleaned up, and then it's looking pretty good right there. So after that cut, if that all cleans up, I'm going to go in there with my shear tool and practice my finishing cuts there. Alright, we are on to my shear tool now. That thing is doing a beautiful job. I touched up my grind. I think I had the grind kind of messed up where it was digging in and dragging more than it was shearing on that edge from the last parts that I cut. That looks great right there, man. We'll get it cut over just a little bit, and I'll move you over so you can see that. That was good. Maybe you can see that finish on video there. Some of the dark spots, what you're seeing, that's just the cutting oil. It looks really nice. Well, what do you guys think? There's our finish with our shear tool, and I like it. I gave it a nice wipe down, got all the chips off of it there. I used WD-40 to clean everything off. It's got a nice smooth feel to it. It is not perfect, but it's really nice. So this practice really helps me every time I do these operations and I work on these tool grinds and the tool hones. It's really helping me to improve this now that I'm getting a little bit of experience under my belt with trying to make good finishes on this metal. So this is real nice right here. I like that. I think with some more practice I'll be able to continue to improve that honing on there and make this even better, because I've made some really pretty cuts when I had the Sheldon shaper. I've got some blocks that I saved where I cut it and it was even smoother than this right here. So that's what I'm trying to get back to. But anyway, I'm real happy with that. It looks real good. So I got a little bit on this edge that didn't clean up where it was just kind of like rolled over, but I'm not worried about that right there. That's not even going to matter. So I'm going to take this out, file the corners real good, make sure it's deburred, and then flip it over, and we're going to repeat that on the other side there. Okay, we're working on the last side of the plate now, making my rough cut across there. Just 10,000ths depth to get rid of that skin of rust and scale. And we make that cut, we'll clean it up, and then we'll make our final shear cut. Okay, we're on to our shear cutting now. Made 2 light rough cuts across there, and then we'll try this shear cut here and see if it cleans it up good. Touched up my tool again, honed it again, so hopefully that'll turn out okay. Okay, well, it finishes up the plate there on the shaper. That was our final shear cut finish. And I think it's very comparable to the other side there. It feels very smooth. There's still very faint lines going through it. So, as I said, I've got to keep trying and improving to see what I can do to get better at that. I'm thinking that if I was maybe cutting some higher carbon steel, medium to high carbon steel, it'd probably leave a better finish. This is just 1018 cold rolled, so it's kind of gummy, but it looks good. It's going to be great. So we'll get this cleaned up, I'll get it filed, and then from there we're going to move on to the milling machine to put our hole pattern in there.